All right, it is the end of 2023. It both feels like it went extremely fast and also like a ton of things happened. I don't know about for you, but definitely for me. So I thought it would be fun to just sort of do an annual review on a few different categories here. Hopefully it'll be enjoyable and bring some value to you. I want to cover a few different things here. So we're going to do some like top 3 style topics here in the beginning. Then we're going to touch on some lessons I've learned personally that maybe would bring value to you, and then what to expect going into the new year, including a brand new channel I'm launching, linked down in the description, but we'll come back to that. Let's start on top 3 tours, starting at number 3, Logan Wall. Now Logan, if you remember, has a studio in downtown Nashville in a commercial building, a historic building actually, that used to be a motor factory. It's called Nashville Motor Works, I believe it's called. The studio was such an interesting experience because one, it's this old brick building, a very, very old original like hardwood floors, and like just the aesthetic of the building, and the studio or room space office that he's leasing, that his studio's in. Great efficiency in his workflow. He's a songwriter and a producer and mixer, and the fact that he can do all of that in that cool space. And there's also the element of community. There's a bunch of shops, a bunch of other music related businesses right in the same building. I just love that whole thing. I think it's super cool. Number 2, John Strandell. This is one that I think a lot of the viewers of this channel really appreciate, which is when it's a real down-to-earth, simple, not crazy, not a ton of gear home studio setup. It's just like this room, up in a bonus room. It's got a really great keyboard workflow, and I just learned a lot from his tour and the way that he utilizes everything in his room to get his work done super fast. He's doing a ton of different projects. So check that video out if you haven't seen it yet. And coming in at number 1 is Tommy Profit. Super cool. And what I love specifically about his home studio is the aesthetic of it. I mean, it was luxurious. It felt like you were in the Bat Cave. Like, it's very Bruce Wayne / Tesla aesthetic, and just a big bookshelf wall in the back. It was very dark and moody. And again, not a ton of gear. Didn't have a ton of gear at all. The gear that he had was very, very nice. But I mean, he had like a mic, one mic, and he had a Nord, you know, some beautiful speakers and a nice desk setup. But that's really all he was using. There was a grand piano in there, but he pretty much does everything on that Nord and uses VSTs, and he's in the box. He literally uses the Apollo preamp for all the vocals. I think that's awesome. I love seeing people who are working at such a high level with so much success. He literally has a diamond record right at the entry for 60 billion plus streams on one of the songs that he did, which is just incredible. So that's my top 3. I'd love to see your top 3. Let me know down in the comments. Now moving on to top 3 videos we did here on the channel that were not studio tours. So I'm gonna start with 1 this time. Number 1, hands down, was the video I made on the whole process of from when I started as a musician all the way to getting my first ever recording console. And that video was so fun to make, and the response to that video was just unbelievable. It was so cool. I met so many people who watched it and got to know so many new friends, but I was really, really proud of that video. And that one was just an opportunity for me to tell a story that is a little more inspirational and like, hey, you know, a lot of this journey is not always all it's cracked up to be, but as long as you just keep going, like, you can really do whatever you want, and it's up to you. And, you know, that's a message that I think is important to share. So I'm very proud of that video, and hopefully you guys checked it out. Number 2 was the 3 things that will improve your studio workflow video. Now that video was really like, how can I take a bunch of things that I've learned about working both in commercial studios and home studios and consolidate some of those lessons and tips and workflow processes into one video and make it interesting and make it clickable and give as much value as I possibly can, and make it fun to watch and entertaining. And really proud of that video. That is another one that's just jam-packed with really good information in it. So I'm very proud of that one. 3 things that will improve your studio workflow. Now, number 3 here, this is a little bit of cheating here. I'm just gonna kind of cheat and put a category of videos that I put up this year, which are the music collaboration videos. But those were so fun to do and so fun to make. Special shout out to Started a Band with a Sample Pack, my friend Logan. We did a really fun collaboration video. I did one with my friend Marcus Meston. We did writing a song for Netflix in a home studio. That one was so fun. All the music we made in all these videos was just excellent. It was really, really great. And you know, we do these in one day. So it's really fun to not only do it and do it with a friend, but to actually document it and be able to edit it and put it up online for you guys to watch. Check those ones out if you haven't seen them and you like that kind of stuff. Maybe you just didn't get recommended the video, something like that. Okay, now that we've packaged up some of the top 3 video and channel content from this year, I want to move on to more of like just a personal career and, I don't know, maybe inspirational set of lessons that I learned a lot from this year. Number 1, gratitude. I've said it in a lot of videos, but I think it's incredibly, 1, important, 2, valuable, just 3, a great exercise to do at the beginning of every day. There's always something to be grateful for. And, you know, I've done a couple videos this year where I just kind of freeform talk like this about, you know, some of the wins and some of the losses and difficulties and, you know, successes and things. And, you know, I think gratitude is one of the most important things that you can do every single day, literally every day. When I start my day, I'll tell you the next part in a second, but I started off with, you know, writing down what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for our health. I'm grateful I have 2 hands that work, like just basic stuff that is, you know, you take for granted. And life could be so much more difficult. And I know so many people who have much more difficult lives. And I think it's just important to, whatever you're going through, to just remind yourself to stay grateful. And there's a lot of value that comes from that. So number 2, this one is actually life-changing for me, and that is writing. And I don't mean songwriting. I mean literally writing with a pen, doing it every single day. It has changed my mindset, my attitude, my work. It has changed my family life. It has changed my goals. It has changed how efficient my days are. It's changed everything. I just really started doing it in a disciplined, effective way about a month and a half ago, probably a month and a half ago, maybe a month ago. But it's been a game changer. And I'll tell you a little bit what I mean by that is when I wake up very early. First off, I love getting up very early. A lot of benefits, but getting up that early, especially when you have kids, there's a clarity in your mind of what you can focus on and think about and do. When you get up that early, you know, after 2-3 hours, you know, it's 7 in the morning. So you've gotten a lot of the critical, focused thinking and planning out of the way, or maybe it's editing or whatever, mixing, whatever it is that you're doing, getting that out of the way very, very early. And then it's 7 a.m. You got the whole day in front of you. So I've been doing a lot of writing. I start with gratitude, and then I sort of break things down into different categories. I even use a timer just so that I can't push things off that I know I will push off. Those are at the very top of the list. I start the day with that. And it has just been a life changer for me. And even if it's 10 minutes, 10 focused minutes on something that is a pain in the ass that you avoid, start your day with that. Start your day. 10-minute timer. That's all you got to do. Then it's better than doing 0 time. And then 10 minutes every single day. That's a lot of time. So you can really, I've discovered that you can really get so much more done every single day with this exercise of writing, planning, and then even just as important, reviewing. So, you know, if you're working on something, you're trying to achieve a new goal, whatever that may be, you know, scheduling in like an end of week review process just sort of looking back and going, did I do all the things that I wanted to do this week? What was the thing that I know that I didn't get done? And why didn't I get done? And then being totally honest about it, writing it down and going, okay, this is, I went to the website and then it was annoying for a second, so I gave up. Take 5 minutes, figure that out so that you can just get the thing done. Writing, planning, reviewing, being super transparent with yourself, setting goals, working towards them, even if it is 10 minutes at a time. That has been one of the biggest success and lessons for me, even though it's something that's relatively new. Now, piggybacking off of that was 2. Number 3 is believing in the future that you want for yourself. And what do I mean by that? Well, life is complicated. A lot of complicated things happen in our lives. And because of those different things, a million different factors, it can affect us in ways that where we become, we have a negative attitude on something, or maybe we believe something can't be done, or something can't be changed, or something can't be accomplished. But I think, now I know 100% for sure, because I used to think that way, and it kind of made it true. And now I'm doing the opposite. I'm believing in the things that I want to be true, literally just by believing that I can do them and then making a plan to do them and sticking to the plan. And they're happening, and they've happened. Found so much value in doing that and just believing in the future that I want for myself and my family and for the people around me, literally just by starting with the understanding that it can be true and will be true, and then thinking through it, planning, writing, coming up with steps to get there. I mean, if you do it every single day, I think you'll be amazed with what you can accomplish. So that's my preachy lessons that I've learned this year. So hopefully there's something at least one person could maybe take from that, because it's been so valuable for me. Okay, now lastly, what to expect in the new year 2024. Starting with this channel, the Andrew Masters channel. So this channel is really got its start and growth from studio tours, which, by the way, kudos to my wife. It was my wife's idea to do consistent studio tours on the channel. And I really fell in love with the craft of making them interesting and making them a little bit more unique than maybe another studio tour you would find on YouTube, and trying to make them my own in a way. And, that seems to have resonated with the people who watch these videos. I mean, I can see it in the data. So next year on this channel you're on right now is going to continue to be epic studio tours, hopefully every single week. On Mondays, we'll get a new episode, new guest, and hopefully it will continue to be better quality, better production, more value from each video, better guests. I'm going to do my absolute best to hold myself accountable and make each episode more enjoyable than the last, or at least some percentage, And then after the Monday episode, we're going to select highlights from my favorite tours, my favorite moments from those tours, and we will have those as clips going up throughout the week. So this channel is just going to be a boatload of epic studio tours. Now, the new news is that on the new channel that is launching, well, if you're watching this right now, that channel is called Studio Time. Now, what's going to be on that channel? I'll put a link to it down below. You should go subscribe. Basically, if you've watched the other videos on this channel that are not studio tours, this new channel is going to be the home for that type of content. Now, I have no plans of uploading old videos to that channel, but the focus will be recording, production, sort of educational, entertaining, fun videos that give a lot of value. There's going to be some community element with Q&A videos, as well as stories and gear reviews. So it's going to be all that stuff that sometimes I would put on here, but it's just going to be dedicated for that studio time style of content. So go subscribe to the new channel, Studio Time, down below. As of today, the trailer for the channel is now live, so you can go check that out as well. Last thing going forward in 2024 is going to be the Andrew Masters podcast channel. My hope is for consistent episodes, new guests, as well as getting the podcast on all of the podcast platforms. Scott and I, my assistant Scott, who's absolutely been awesome. We're gonna work all that out so it'll be easier to find, and we'll have more consistent guests and episodes and clips. So go subscribe to the podcast channel, Andrew Masters Podcast, if you're not. And that's it. Tell me down below, what are some of your goals and expectations for next year? I'd love to see it. Let's start a conversation. This is a great community of people, and I'm grateful for all of my friends who I've met from this channel, and people I've had the luck to get to hang out with and learn from. And you guys are all awesome. I absolutely am grateful for each and every one of you for watching these videos and subscribing, liking all of them, sharing them. You're awesome. I wish you a happy new year. And if part of your New Year's resolution is to pick up some new equipment, I'm not saying you need to, but if you plan to, check out the links down in the description. Sweetwater.com, the biggest supporter of all the work that I do. They're absolutely fantastic company to work with, to shop with, for everything. They really do a fantastic job. I've listed pretty much all the gear that I have in my studio down there organized. If you want to check any of that out, those are affiliate links. I get a little piece of the commission if you check out and buy some stuff from Sweetwater. So if you already have some plans of picking up some stuff for your studio in the new year, check out those links, give them a click. There's definitely going to be some great New Year's deals, and I'm really looking forward to trying out some stuff in the new year. So thank you again. We'll see you in the next one.